All right, HTC week 6. Here we go. Time is flying, isn't it? It just feels like moments ago, or even a few days ago. It feels like we were just starting. Everyone was coming on in fresh, fresh, bright-eyed faces. Now everyone's here, sparring in the dojo, practicing, earning their stripes, and earning that true title of a high-ticket closer. Now, not an easy title to get, but one that's earned through hard work, dedication, and really just aiming for mastery. Always aiming to be better, always aiming to improve. And what better place to practice than with Sifu Dan Lok himself and in his dojo that he provides with us on Discord. Now, I want to do a quick little mic check, make sure everyone can hear me in the Zoom call. Just drop a yes below if you guys can hear me. By the way, my name is Vikas Kapil. I'm your community manager for Team Dan Lok. Just making sure everyone is here. We're live. We're good to go. Perfect. Love it. Okay, so week 6 rolling in. I want to do a quick check. Make sure everyone has been doing their assignments. Yes? All right, I'm going to see who's been doing their assignments. Okay, Lewis has. Dennis has. Andreas has. Perfect. Yes. Andrew, you as well. Demetrius. Boom! There we go. So everyone's been doing their assignments. They've been earning their stripes in Discord. They've been working extremely hard day in and day out. Now, week 6 is a little bit interesting. This is where Desmond shines. And speaking of Desmond, the Sarge, do we have him on live right now?
I am on live. Yes. Vikas, how are you? It is good to connect and welcome back. We are at week 6. Where has the time flown? It was only just yesterday that I remember everyone coming in to week 1. So type in the chat, have you implemented? Has your life changed? Type in the chat and say yes. If you truly feel that everything that you've been learning, absorbing, feeling as if it's a fire hose in your mouth has been changing your life. Good. We're seeing a lot of yeses. Great. So I know that everyone's participating, everyone's awake, everyone's typing in the chat. Now, I'm going to challenge you. Type in the chat, what result, something very specific, something very exact. What result have you already experienced or received from the implementations over the past few weeks? All right, I'm seeing making more money. Be specific. How much more money? More prospects to close. How many more prospects? Okay, feeling grateful. Okay, be a little bit more specific. Self-esteem. Oh, I see one there. He closed a $10,000 deal, $30,000 deal. Wow. 5 more clients. Confidence. Okay. Anyone
communicate with my daughter as well?
Yes, I saw that too as well. Good. Do you appreciate or look at money differently now? Close a $21,000 deal. Wow, congratulations. Same mentor, same Sifu, same course. How come some of you are getting results? Someone says 2 opportunities worth $1,400 a month for 36 months in payout. Well done. Taking action, more open to correction, implementation. Be more specific. What do you mean by implementation? What have you implemented? So tonight, this is going to be a big one. You can already see how things are ramping up. You don't have much more time. You want to get this. You want to pay attention. Tonight is one of those classes. This is one of those ones where you will most likely fill up an entire notebook, and I'm going to highly recommend you go back and listen to multiple role plays, multiple examples, different scenarios. This is going to be one of those big ones where it is life-changing. This is going to empower you. My promise to you is this: if you apply what we're about to teach you tonight, you may not be perfect. You may even get some rejection. But I can guarantee you this: if you apply what we're about to teach tonight and you stay true to the HTC way of practicing, continuing, sharpening, perfecting the basics, you will eventually go from not getting it to getting it And we love to see when you get it, when you post your first booms, when you post your first wins, when you actually start to wear the cape of being a high ticket closer. So who is excited to have Sifu come on and share these secrets? Now, we are also joined this evening. I'm very, very proud to introduce, as well as a co-instructor on tonight's call. He's already waiting the sidelines before we bring Sifu on. None other than Joel Go. Joel, are you there?
Hey, Sarge Desmond. I am here. HTC.
Yes.
So great to see everyone.
How many of you in the audience know who Joel is? Okay, so maybe let me rephrase the question. How many of you do not know who Joel is? So, as you can tell, Joel has been a superstar mentee. He has gone through. He was where you were not too long ago. Joel, what season did you start with?
Season 5.
And how long did it take you before you got your first boom?
It took me 2 weeks into season 5.
2 weeks into season 5.
That's correct.
So not too long ago, and you know. So I want you to pay attention here. It's not very long ago. He just implemented faster. So the key here, if you notice, the phrase is about implementation and implementing the right things. Now, Joel's not perfect. He makes a lot of mistakes, you know, just like all of us. He's open to being coached, and he has risen into a very strong leadership position as well. He now coaches and leads a lot of all the closers. That's a very, very heavy responsibility. So do you think maybe he has some information, some skills, some tips to pass on to each and every one of you to maybe help you implement faster? Yes? All right. So let's get the class started tonight. We will also be bringing on a few more other brothers and sisters, those who have implemented and gotten results, so that you can see that it is doable and possible. In your HTC style, do it with safety. If you're driving, pull over to the side of the road. If you are at home, hopefully you're dressed up in your suit, in your best dress, or your HTC shirt. Get on your feet and raise your voices as loud as you can. Help us bring to the stage our Sifu, your Sifu, our mentor, Dan Locke.
HTC week 6. Question number 1. Who would like to, really want to know how money is actually made by leveraging your new high income skills? Put in the chat. Have you been role playing? Now, today, we are going to talk about how to attract those high paying closing gigs. How do you turn your skill into money? Now, before Sifu gets into it, a couple of warnings. Number 1, you will be overwhelmed tonight. In fact, you will be more overwhelmed than any other previous class that we've done. Remember, even last week when we were doing role play, how many of you have listened to the role play more than once between me and Joe? Could you see it's simple, but it's not easy. It's very, very skillful. So, and also, Sifu mentioned something very important. That is that in spite of how overwhelmed you felt, it's a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of what I know. It's a tiny, tiny, tiny percentage. So tonight, I'm going to give you just a little bit more, about what we do and how we do it. Also, I'm going to take you behind the scenes of how many of you want to see a glimpse of how Sifu runs the closing team, how Joe and Desmond, how they do their closing, right? How we now have, including closers in training, over 120 closers within the organization working with us on our team, how that actually works. A world-class closing organization, how that works. Number 2, we'll talk about not just how to do inbound tonight. We're also going to share with you, because I saw the questions, a little bit about how do you do outbound. How to do outbound the HTC way. Not the green monster way, but how to do outbound the HTC way. And also, where do you get those gigs? How do you close those gigs? We're going to do some role play with Desmond. So knowing you will be overwhelmed, and don't worry about trying to get it perfect. Remember, we're not perfectionists, we are progressionists. So just here and there, just inch by inch, focus inch by inch and progressing and improving bit by bit. That's it. That's it. Otherwise, you will get discouraged because it feels like there's so much. Take your time. Take your time. So we're going to talk about how to turn your skill into money. So having a skill set is good, but at the end of the day, how do we turn that skill set into money? Is it possible to have a skill set that people spend years learning and yet they're not able to generate high income utilizing that skill set? Yes or no? Are there skill sets that are not high income skills? In fact, are most skills high income or low income that are being taught out there in the society? That's right, low income. It's not high income. It is designed to make people to be mediocre. It's designed to keep you in your comfort zone. It's designed for you to think and operate within a box. So let me share a quick boom with you. Andy.
All right, boom alert. I'd like to tell you about someone who has embraced everything it is to be a top closer on a seafood business account for London Real. I would like to congratulate Sean, not only for his recent closing performance, but for providing much value through continuous feedback and coming up with some excellent ideas and suggestions. 3 booms today, 8 booms in less than a week, a $29.97 program. Great to have you on the team, Sean.
Now, how many of you would love to be so good at closing you get 3 booms a day? How about 8 booms in less than a week? So think about, let's say each day you take that 7, 8 call, you're closing every couple call. So you're talking, you're closing a prospect, boom. You talk to another one, maybe. The one after, boom, another one. That's how many of you would say that's a pretty good day? It's not super expensive. It's a $3,000 program. So question is, why did you join HTC? Is it because you wanted a new high income skill so you can make more money? Is it because you want to get better at closing, at sales, at persuasion? Is it because you want to develop more confidence? Financial confidence? Is it because you want to be part of something greater, be part of a community of elite players? Is it because you want a mentor? Is it because you're sick and tired of trying to figure things out on your own and knowing how expensive that is and how costly it is in terms of money and also in terms of time? So why are you in HTC? Is it because you are sick and tired of living life, a life of maintenance instead of a life of adventure? Is it because you want to be able to get to a place to put yourself in a position that finally you could take care of your family, to be the role model for your son, for your daughter, to be able to give back, to be able to live life on your own terms? With HTC, with this new high-income skill, there are many ways you could use it. And Sifu is going to share with you some of the different ways that you could use it. Number one, you can apply to if you have a career, you have a job right now, and you don't necessarily dislike it. In fact, you're okay with it, but you would like to apply HTC to what you do now. How many of you fall into kind of that category? What about maybe you want to master this skill so that you actually want to transition out of what you do and become a full-time closer, so you would be able to work from home, that you don't need to commute. That this is not just something that you try, this is something that you do, this is going to be your career, this is who you are, and you're wearing that cape. Or number 3, that you actually have a business and you want to do better with the business, you want to grow and scale the business, and you know in order to do that, you need to be able to close. You need to be able to bring in more customers, more high-paying customers. And if you fall into this category, now you're also, how many recognize if you fall into that category, as you grow, that you will not be able to close all those sales yourself? You might need some closers. But is it useful to know how it actually works? So when you build a little closing team, then you might have 2, 3, 4, 5 closers on your team. I wonder if you want to scale your business, I wonder where would you find some closers? I think I know a couple. Just a couple solid closers that I've trained that might be able to help you to scale. So if you actually run your own business, how many recognize you are in the right community? If you want to scale, maybe not to like what Steve degree with like 120 closers, but maybe 2 or 3, maybe just 1. So you could focus on what you do best. So you could close, that's fine. But then also having someone close for you, and then a second or third or fourth closers, and then you could focus on the more critical, the more important task within the business. And tonight I'm going to share some of that structure with you as well, so you get an idea what that looks like. And it's a structure that most people have no clue. It's a quite sophisticated approach in terms of scale. So I'm going to teach you that as well. So doesn't matter which category that you fall into, you will get multiple. Here's my prediction: multiple aha moments, one after another, after another, after another. You'll write down so many notes, your hand would hurt. Your head would spin after the class. You will not, if it's evening, you will not be able to sleep. That's my prediction. You ready? Are you ready? Come on, give me some enthusiasm. All right, let's do this. Secret number 1, low-hanging fruit versus generating high income. Low-hanging fruit versus generating high income. Write this down. We've got a lot of secrets. And tonight is not just like one secret. You will see as Sifu goes on, it's a secret. And then within there are multiple steps and there are multiple secrets within just one secret. So it's like secrets within a secret. Example, steps, strategies, structure, framework. You get all of those things. Okay, all of those things. So low-hanging fruit versus generating high income. So first of all, let's talk about the difference between a lone wolf versus teamwork. Lone wolf versus teamwork. In the beginning, within the HTC history, we've always been teaching my students, going out there, here you go, now you have a high income skill. Go out there and make it happen. And what we teach for many, many, many seasons was teaching all my students, you go out there, you go find an influencer or high ticket partner. And I'm going to explain all that, what it means. For now, just write this down. That's the beginner level. And that's what we've been teaching for many, 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 many seasons. And we've had tremendous success. By tremendous success, I mean our students went out there utilizing the skill, added value, closing sales that would not have been closed, producing billions, what's the word? Billions of dollars for influencers, accumulatively. Not millions, billions. With some very well-known, some of the most famous influencers in the world. Now, let's define what is an influencer. An influencer is someone who already has a high-ticket offer or multiple high-ticket offers with a loyal following. Write this down. An influencer is someone who already has a high-ticket offer or multiple high-ticket offers with a loyal following. So I'm going to test you a bit, see if you're paying attention here. So let's say there's someone out there that they are selling multiple products, maybe a dozen products. They are less than $100. With this definition, are they an influencer? No. Now, they could be an influencer in social media sense, just within our community, right? That is not an account. That's not someone, a client that we want to work with. Does that make sense? What if someone who does have a following, let's say they have even hundreds of thousands or even millions of followers on social media, but they contact you and say, hey, I've got this massive following. I've got 1 million people follow me on Instagram, and I've got and hundreds of thousands of people on YouTube, and I think I could offer something there. I think I could offer some kind of product, some kind of program. I don't know what it looks like, but I thought that's what you do. You're high ticket closers. Can you help me out? Is that who you want to take on? No. It's a bit too early. Maybe three months, 6 months later, after they've got the marketing in place, after they've got the funnel in place, they're driving traffic to it, then perhaps, yes. But at the moment, when they approach you or you approach them, the timing is not right. The timing is not right. So we define an influencer as someone who already has a high ticket offer, ideally proven, or multiple high ticket offers with a loyal following. You with me so far? Okay. Now, what makes the high ticket closing model so powerful? So powerful. Because unlike most business models, let's say you want to be a digital marketer. Okay, you want to provide digital marketing service for businesses. That's good. But then, since you're selling that, would the business that you want to work with, would they require you to have certain credentials, credibility, right? Testimonials. So it would require you to have quite a few things in place, maybe even a few years of track record. What have you done? Because that's what business would ask. What have you done? So that model, it's great, but that model doesn't apply to most people who are getting started. Instead, the XTC model, what it's designed to do is you are leveraging, what's the word? Leveraging your high ticket partners, the influencers, reputation, their list, their following, their offers. You're creating money out of thin air. Understand when it comes to the XTC model, write it down, it's not about you. It is not about you. Almost most business models out there, it is about you. But this is not about you because it's not your product. It's not your program. It is not your service. It's not your reputation. All we do as a high ticket closer is we are simply the facilitator. What's the word? The facilitator of transaction. We're talking to prospects who have already demonstrated interest, that they are interested in in this particular product to solve this particular problem. And with the facilitators, we get on the phone, we help them overcome some lower self issues, we help them see the vision, we paint the picture in their minds, we dig deep, find the pain, right? And we help them make a decision that they already want to make. That's our job. Who likes that? Who likes to be able to do that and earn a great income at the same time? That's what we do. So it's not about us. So with the HTC model, how many of you have tried other business models in the past, but it didn't work for you? Maybe it's drop shipping, maybe it's e-commerce, right? Maybe it's affiliate marketing. What have you tried that didn't work for you? Maybe it's network marketing. Maybe it's whatever it might be. Maybe it's cryptocurrency. Forex, yes. Because those businesses, they say e-com, nothing wrong with e-com. E-com is fine. But it requires you to buy inventory. It requires you to have the products, the proven products, and then you drive traffic. Like you're doing a lot of things. And it goes back to the wealth triangle. That's good if you want to build a scalable business. But before the scalable business, what do we need? That's right. We need high income skills. We need skill that pays the bills first. Get income coming in. Write this down. Income is king. Almost everybody else talks about don't drink that latte in the morning. Don't drink that Starbucks. Cut back. Invest for the long term. That's fine. You should invest for the long term as a bare minimum plan. But income is king. Every single year, if you're my student, you should set a goal. Every single year, you need to be increasing the amount of income that you make. But yet, that's not how we were taught now, is it? When we're growing up. It's like nice, steady, play safe, don't take risk. How many have heard some of those things from your parents? They're not teaching you to strive for more. And what makes HTC, this business model, so powerful is there's no initial investment. Except investment, you invest in learning your skill set. That's it. You need to buy inventory. There's no overhead. Well, that's not entirely accurate. You do need to invest a few dollars in Zoom. How many of you can handle that? Skype. You do need that. Or your what, a $50 headset. Yeah, that's right. You do. There's a huge amount of investment required to do this. There's no inventory because you're offering a skill set to a business or to an influencer. In exchange of money. There's no fulfillment. There's no customer service. Meaning, when after you close a deal, you're not the one that's doing the work. Let's say you are a coach, okay? And you're in coaching. You need to be the one that's driving the appointments. You need to be the ones that are doing the coaching, and you need to be the one that's closing the coaching. There's no credibility needed. Why is there no credibility needed? Tell me. That's right, because it's not about you. It is not about you. So if let's say you're closing for seafood, and you're talking to someone who's interested in HTC, do you think the prospect, the potential student, would ask you, "Well, tell me, how long have you been in business? Tell me a little bit about if you have a degree. Because I can't let you close me if you don't have the degree. Right? In fact, tell me about your age. Because I can't really buy from you, because if you're not over 30 years old, I can't let you close me, man. They don't care. These objections don't come up because it's not about you. It's not about your credibility. It's about who you're closing for. There's no need for you to create a product or service. And there's no limit to how much you can earn. And I'll demonstrate why. This is not about that. This is not the like a lot of opportunities, which I don't see. I never refer HTC as an opportunity. It's a skill set. I'm training you, I'm giving you, I'm transferring a skill set to you that you could use for the rest of your life. And it's a skill set, the more you use, the better you get. And the better you get, the more return you get. The more money, the higher income. The more income that you can earn. Does that make sense? It's unlimited. It's unlimited. The proof is unlimited because from closing back in the days, a few $100 deal where seafood came from, to thousands of dollars, to tens of thousands of dollars, to hundreds of thousands of dollars, to millions of dollars. That's the same skill. I am more skilled today, of course, but it is the same skill set, just like a karate instructor, a karate master, starting as it's still karate, but starting as a white belt, right? And then eventually moving up to a black belt. Same thing in martial art. It's the same idea. So let's talk about low-hanging fruit. The fastest way to money is to sell your own products and services. Like I said, it doesn't matter what category you fall into, but for those, if you're my student and you have a business, the fastest way for you to make money, to put your high income skill to use, is to sell your own products and services. Doesn't mean that's all you do, but I'm just saying as the fastest step. Doesn't matter what you do, even temporarily, even though you don't see yourself doing what you're doing now for the long term, that's okay. You can still utilize the skill that you're learning to earn more now. Take the money, that's okay. Put the money in your pocket first. Even you're in transition. You could use HTC to get promoted. Can you use HTC to get promoted? Even maybe you don't like the job, but can you use HTC to get promoted? Yes or no? Could you use HTC to communicate better with your coworkers so you could lead better, to present better, to articulate your ideas better? If you're selling anything at all, could you use HTC to get more clients or get the same amount of clients, but now you charge more money? So do not, write this down, do not think, oh, if I'm not closing for an influencer, then I'm not using HTC. If that's what you're thinking, you're not getting it yet. You do not have to close for an influencer in order to use HTC. If you're improving your communication, your relationship with your kids, tell me, are you using HTC? Yeah. If you are now suddenly communicating better with your spouse, so you have less conflict and you have, now you understand him, you understand her better. Are you using HTC? So it is a way of life. Do not, because I do see students where they misunderstood. Oh, see, if I'm not closing an influencer, I'm not using HTC. Then you don't understand what HTC is. because that's not what it is. I'm teaching you a skill set, but really I'm teaching you. It's a way of thinking, it's a way of life. If you truly understand what I'm teaching you, it's not a sales skill, it's a life skill. And the beautiful thing about life skill is it applies in all areas of life. It just happens to be that we utilize some of these techniques to close for premium products and services. But really, it is a life skill. And it's the only way you see why you hear the success stories that we have within the community, why most stories are actually not just about earning more. That's a given. But you hear some of the most profound and heartwarming stories because of that. Because if it is only purely a sales skill, guess what? All you would hear is sales success story, right? But is that the only story that you see within HTC? That, oh, I use this ABC technique and I close more. It's okay. But that's not what it is. That's not what it's about. So the question is not what can I sell? How many of you, be honest, you're a little bit worried? For those who don't have products and services, you're not closing for yourself, right? You're not starting off with the low-hanging fruit. You're just starting from scratch. Oh, Steve, what can I sell? I don't know. What can I sell, right? Is that coming from your lower self or is that coming from your higher self? Is it coming from lower self or higher self? So let's reframe that. It's not, what can I sell? What can't you sell? Say with me. What can't you sell? Get a pen. Write this down. Here we go. Roller coaster. You can sell coaching programs. You can sell real estate. You can sell mortgage. You can sell insurance. Every single thing I've mentioned, by the way, we have my closers, my students, very successful selling as we speak right now. Back of the room meeting and a seminar, back of the room sales, online courses, certification program, licensing program, fitness program, membership program, construction project, interior design, custom home, right? Solar panels. One of my strong students, Joe, a different Joe, selling solar panels. Desmond, how much is Joe making right now?
Yeah, he sells roofs and solar panels. Averages around about 250,000 to 300,000 in commissions. Well over $1 million in sales.
I guess there's some money in that, huh?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a little bit, huh? Timeshare, software, done for you services, copywriting services, digital marketing services, Facebook advertising services, website design services, funnel building services, lead generation services, PR service, branding service. We're not done. Nonprofit. Could you close for nonprofit? Could you get so good and you're now making so much money? So then even when you're closing for nonprofit, something that you believe in, you're saying to them, you know what? I don't even need to charge you. I don't want a commission for you. I don't want a commission from you. I just want to help you close so we could raise more money, so we could help more people. Imagine you could do that. You could utilize your skill that way. What about joint venture brokering? Oh, how does that work, Sifu? Maybe I should do another course on that. It's way beyond the conversation we have. You take a business A, you take a business B. Let's say business A has a product. Business B has the audience. They have the customers. What you do is you put the two together. Simply close, being a matchmaker for two businesses. and you get paid a commission for putting the deals together. In fact, Desmond, that's what your wife does.
Yeah, pretty much.
Actually, explain a little bit what Sue does, because I think that's valuable.
So she started off with the food industry, right, the restaurants, and then after that, they went into manufacturing their own food. Over the years, I introduced her to some government officials. Then she started to obviously to come and live with us over here. She couldn't do, the work in Japan, so then she started to broker the deals. So the government introduced, say, manufacturers, very large protein shake manufacturers, health food manufacturers, some of the largest in North America. And of course, they want to enter into the Japanese market or Korean market. You got the Olympics that's happening. So recently, she just closed 2 very big deals in which she helps these manufacturers to tie up with the local manufacturers in Japan to manufacture the protein shakes, the bottles, the printing, the labeling, everything to fit the Japanese market for the Olympics.
So can you see you could use it at a kindergarten level. You can use it at negotiating, being a joint venture broker for major companies, major companies. You can even negotiate for countries, as far as I'm concerned, which is what Danny Lean does. So you're only limited by your imagination. The problem is most of us, we were taught since childhood to play small. How many of you have been taught playing small your whole life? Play small. And you think, closing a $2, $3, $5, $6, $10,000 deal, that's a high ticket, that's a big fucking deal. It's not a big fucking deal. That's where we are starting you. That's what's even starting you. Like, it's like teaching you A, B, C, D, E. Yeah, that's where we start. That's not where you end up. Investments, stocks, raising capital. There are closers out there. They get a percentage. Let's say a company needs money. They go out there and they would pitch on behalf of the company who needs money to venture capital, to private equity. And if they could raise 2, 3, 5, 10, 20, $30 million, they get 1 or 2% of that for pitching. Not their product, not their company. Yacht. I wonder how many of those you need to sell. Private jet. We have students. You can see sell closes for private jets company using HTC. Literally, they're closing for private jet. Antiques. Selling to the affluent. Jewelry. Clothing. Business brokering. More fancy term, merger and acquisition. Yeah, brokering business. Business want to sell, you help them sell, you get a cut. Even partnerships. You could close as partnership. You get so good with the high income skills, people want to make you a partner because you could produce revenue. You are the rainmaker. So let me ask you the question again. Is the question, what can I sell? I don't know. What can you sell? And this is a small list. So I can feel the slides with so many different categories and so many industries. My recommendation is pick one. So just pick one. Just whatever resonates with you, just pick one. So can you see when Sifu says that the HTC, this is a blue ocean? I don't mean a small little fucking lake. I mean a fucking blue ocean. Like an ocean so big and so wide, you don't see an end. So the question is, so do you have to worry about, If seafood trains too many closers, will we have too much competition? Will we have to compete with our brothers and sisters?
And Sifu, maybe also explain, I think some people may not understand the terminology of blue ocean or red ocean. Do you guys know, like, is there anyone that does not know the meaning of the word blue ocean, red
Explain
ocean?
it. I think it's good to explain it. Go ahead.
And I think it just comes down to a simple analogy. Think of a red ocean, you got a lot of sharks, right? When you have blood in the water, there's a lot of sharks. Everybody is, everyone's fighting, right? For this is a small piece of fish that's in the water, and all the sharks all fighting for it. So a lot of competition. But blue ocean, it's wide open. There's a lot of abundance, so just think of it from that simple analogy.
It's a huge market with very little competition. Not in my lifetime. Seafood would not be able to train enough students and closers to handle not even a fraction of the demand. Not in my lifetime. Forget it. It's huge. It is huge. And think about all these different types of products and services and categories and industries. So let me ask you this question. Any of these categories, do you think there are a lot of well-trained, sophisticated, educated closers in these industries? Or do you think these industries are full of green monsters? Think about your day-to-day life. Think about the salespeople you encounter. Your entire life, how many of them you would consider HTC quality good? Just think about it. Maybe a shopping mall, right? Maybe in a computer store, maybe when you buy the car. Just think about all the encounter that you have. How many of them are good? Forget like this good. I'm talking about just like okay. Can you see the potential? Can you see the unfair advantage that seafood's given you when you go out there? You don't need to be that good. You don't need to be that. You could get 3-5% of what I have. You will never have to worry about money again. That's my promise. Money would not be a concern anymore. You would outclose everybody else. Because everybody else sucks. It's not hard. Like, you don't need to be a 10. You could be a 3. They're all -5. They're -8. Like, you could be reasonably bad. You could be a 2. You still outclose them. You could stutter. You could be asking not 100% the right questions. You set the agenda wrong. You forgot to qualify one of the needs. It still works. It still works. Isn't that the good news? You don't need to get all perfect and from beginning of the call to the end of the call, it has to be like precise and 100% no mistakes. And no, you can fuck up a lot and you will still be surprised at the end. You get the sale like, okay, you sure? You're like, you don't believe it. But you're like,
that,
okay.
that was my first close, Sifu. Funny. It was so funny. I remember that on that call, I was reading off a sales script that the influencer gave me. And at the end, the prospect said, you know what, let's do it. And I was still reading off the script. I was still asking her like a bunch of questions. And I was like, wait, sorry. What do you think? She said, well, stop talking. Let's do it. I'm like, really? Yeah, it was the funniest thing ever.
That's right. So did I just close the sale? Yes, you did. Yes, it did. It can't be that simple. I didn't talk that much. I asked some questions and I shut the hell up and they say, let's do it. What kind of voodoo magic is this? It is voodoo magic when it comes to communication. You don't even know what happened. The prospect doesn't know what happened. You are not even, as a closer, you don't even know what happened. But the deal is closed. Now, it doesn't mean we don't try to get better. We don't strive to be a better closer and learn more skills. Of course, what Sifu is saying is you do not need to be that good to make a great income, because the people you're competing with, they're just very, 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 very bad. They're just very, very bad. So no competition. It's great. It is a blue ocean. Example. I'll give you an example. If today, Sifu is not teaching, not doing what I do, I go out there, I could pick any of these categories, any one of them. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm with my high income skill and high tech closing skill. I could go out there. If it's a company, if it's industry, with the company, if it's a company, within 1 year, I'll be the number one person. How many of you would have no doubt Sifu would be the number one closer for that company within 1 year? And how many of you have no doubt within 3 years, I would be the number one closer in the whole fucking industry? Doesn't matter. Insurance, mortgage, stocks. I'll be the number one earner. So is it because of my name? Take out my name. Not using my name, not using my fame, I'm not using any of those things. Influence, I'm simply talking about skill. And isn't that what financial confidence really is? That you could go anywhere, go into any industry, close anything, and you know you will be the top person, and you will be able to generate money. Isn't that what high income skills are about? Isn't that true confidence? I don't need anything. Give me a phone. Just give me a phone. I don't need anything. As long as my lips can move, you can hear my voice, I can make money. I don't need anything else. Flapping my lips. I don't need anything at all. So this skill doesn't matter what happens with the economy and it's a depression, it's a recession, or in fact, do you think as a closer, do you think your skill is more valuable when the economy is booming, or do you think our skill is more valuable when there's a recession? Do you think companies need more sales when times is good or when times is bad, when time is tough? Which one? Which one we're more valuable? Do you think they're willing to pay more when the time is tough? Do you think they're willing to pay a higher percentage when time is tough because they need sales and they need sales desperately? So as you watch news, and instead of like most people, the poor and the middle class, all terrified about recession, all terrified about, oh, what happens to the stock market, all this stuff. If you truly have a high income skill, you're high tech closer, you're like, this is fucking awesome. This is great. This is awesome. You hope there's a crash. You hope there's a downturn. You hope like something like locally good, because are we just closing locally? Hello? Or are we serving a global market? If you're closing locally, what Sifu's recommendation is you do both. Let's say you're a real estate agent. You're my student. You're applying this to your real estate business. They're selling properties. Cool. You have a license, that is cool. But be prepared. So you do both. Maybe 80% of your time closing your real estate deals, that's cool. 20% of your time closing for somebody else. Listen to me, this is critical. I'm giving you something very valuable. Why? Because if there's something happens to your local market, suddenly the real estate market is not so hot anymore locally, then you are well prepared. Now you can transition to, okay, I'll spend 80% of my time closing for other people, and then 20% of my time for my real estate business, because when the market is slow, it doesn't matter what you do, the market is slow. So you can, instead of surviving, and for some people, they're actually dying in terms of business, you're thriving. Does that make sense? Always serve a global market. This is why I serve a global market. This is why I have students from over the world. My business is all global. I don't want to serve a local market because it doesn't matter what country, ups and downs. So I know, okay, if this country, the economy is shrinking, well, it doesn't really affect me because I just sell to other countries. I'm selling to all the countries anyway. That's being smart. That's another way you will look at financial confidence. Selling to a blue ocean, serving a blue ocean, global market, not a local market. Makes sense? So Sifu wants you to be protected. Protect your family. Don't, even times are good locally, that's good. But don't devote 100% of your time. Think of this as like an insurance policy. Because then if you devote 100% of your time to a local market, when things change, now you want to switch, it takes time to ramp up. Does that make sense? Better, you're doing 20%. Even though you don't need the money, you're doing very well locally, you don't need the money, that's cool. But 20% of your time, closing for someone else. So then when something happens, and it will happen, you can make the switch very quickly. All you need to do is just allocate more time. Nothing changes. Before it's 80-20, now it's 40-60, it's 50-50. You can do that in a week. But if you're doing 100% local, 0 global, when you need to switch, it takes you a few months and you will panic. And you get desperate. Does that make sense? Because I really want you to get this. Yeah, you got it? Okay, good. So beginner level, you find an influencer, you close for high ticket partner. For advanced level, then you find a business owners and work as a team. As a what? As a team. Okay, as a team. Secret number 2. You want to maintain a high ticket closer posture. Write this down. You want to maintain a high ticket closer posture. Now it has to do with wearing the cape. When I say a high ticket closer posture, does that mean you are cocky? Does that mean you are arrogant? Does that mean you know it all? Does that mean you put down people? No. No. Just confident. Just confident, because I do see this. New graduates now know a thing or two. Learn a thing or two. Gets cocky. Gets cocky. Talking to business owners like they're fucking idiots. Like they don't know what the hell they're doing. And maybe they don't know what the hell they're doing. But you can't talk to them like that. Because at the end of the day, we're providing a skill set to add value to the business. We get paid as a result of that. So ego is not your amigo. Ego, say it with me, ego is not my amigo. Nothing kills your HTC career faster than having a big ego. Nothing. Nothing kills your progress faster than having a big ego. So we're talking about confidence. We're talking about being firm. Now, at the same time, does that mean we're being a pushback? Does that mean people can roll us over? Does that mean that we'll be a little bitch? No. It's the fine line. It's the fine line. And I'm going to teach you on that. All right? You need to find that balance. Yin and yang. One extreme, no good. The other extreme, not good either. Not good either. So you talk to your potential influencer or business owner with more business acumen than you do to a prospect. I'll say this one more time. When you are talking to when you're closing, that's good. When you're talking to a business owner, sometimes you're talking to a CEO for some. You need more business acumen. And for some, my new young students, you got no fucking business acumen. Zero. Negative. And the business owner knows the minute you open your mouth. Because you sound like what the fuck. And the business owner knows. Okay? And please, that's not the moment you brought up Sifu's name. You're embarrassing me. Okay? That's not the time you do that. That's called bad leverage. Okay? Not the time you brought up my name, please. If you're gonna bring up Sifu's name, represent the brand well. Represent the community well. It's not just, oh yeah, I'm trained by Dan Locke. So fucking what?
Oh yeah, and Steve, I see a lot of people laughing in the comments. Trust me, this is very real. We cover this a little bit more later on, but we get messages, emails almost daily, once a day. I mean, it's softened up a bit now, but some of the previous seasons, a lot of the members, every season we teach it, and someone or a bunch of you, a handful of you, will always ruin it for the rest of the members. You show up late to calls. You say very colloquial slang-like things on a business acumen call, and it just doesn't reflect very well. And then you claim that, oh yeah, I'm trained. I graduated from HTC. I'm one of Dan Locke's closers, and you don't show up for the calls on time. You don't take the calls. You miss things. So please don't do that.
And we'll take this very, very seriously, very seriously, because then it's our reputation.
And then, Sifu, we've always said as well too. I mean, if you notice another brother or sister doing something that's out of business acumen, have a talk with them. Don't lecture them. You're not their coach. Don't lecture them, but just speak to them as a family member. Point it out to them. Let them know. Give them a chance to change. And if you notice that they continue with a pattern, you can always, if the screenshots or something like that, you can always submit that in. It's not that you're a tattletale or you're a whistleblower, but you're protecting the community. You're letting the support team members know, and community members will reach out to that member and maybe give them some coaching.
And keep in mind that right now, because it's very easy to overlook and underestimate. And some of you may not be doing that, but for most, that you are in a course and Sifu is teaching you. And it's because it's through the power of technology. For most, you actually don't have an idea how big we are. Like the concept, because it feels like, oh yeah, I know it's a big community. Well, it's not just a big community; it's big. When we have students in over 151 countries, right? When we now have thousands and thousands and thousands of students that I've trained, like when you come to Closers in Black, you'll see it gives you an idea how big we are. We are big, right? And by the way, when we are big, we also get attacked because people like to attack whoever is the tallest. You will have people who are what I call predators that they would talk. I have people, you don't know this. Can I just share like a little bit with you? Just so you can protect yourself. Do you know Seafood has almost on a day-to-day basis on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, people setting up fake account under my name to spam people? We have to shut that down. I have a whole division just to shut that down every day. So people would set up a Twitter under my name and then telling people to buy a certain stock. People would spam, like set up Instagram and then DM people and say, I'm Dan Lok, pretend to be me using my photo, and then try to sell people shit. And that's the price of fame. This is not like once in a blue moon. I'm talking about every day. Because you think about it, when our brand reaches, and it's not just Seafood's brand, it's our brand. My brand is your brand. We reach tens of millions of people on a monthly basis. A good month, 80, slow month, maybe 50, 60 million people on a monthly basis. That's a lot of people. That's like a country. I run HTC more like a country than a course. Like it's big. It's a lot of people, right? And then you have people who specifically they would take advantage of HTC graduates. So by the time you graduate, you will have someone who might contact you on LinkedIn or contact you on social media and say, hey, I know you just graduate. I'm an influencer, or I've got a deal, or I've got whatever. And they try to bait and, how many know bait and switch? And then they try to sell you the shit. Has nothing to do with you just because Seafood's name is so big. Just by association, you become a target. Because they know my students are good. I have some of the best students in the world. How many would agree? I have some of the best students in the world, right? And they know, right? And then they would say, oh, yeah, HCC is not that good. You should come over here and join my whatever sales fucking program, whatever shit, right? You get a taste of what I experience on a day-to-day basis. That's what happens. Like, we are so big that we have people just want the little bit of the breadcrumbs left over through my fingers. Like, or copycat or wannabe, right? And some, unfortunately, I do have some graduates where it's actually done into, like, they're the traders within the community, that people that are trained. Again, these problems come with success. Success comes with these problems. So Seafood wants to give you like a little heads up. Okay, and when you get these type of messages, just forward to support. Let us know. We'll shut them down. Just ignore them.
Yeah, take a screenshot, grab any link that they might send with you as well. Screenshot that it shows the name of the person.
Oh, by the way, another thing, and just because you HTC, you also sometimes you will get outside of HTC, we will probably have 5 to 10 times more people who pretend to be HTC. Actually, they've never been to HTC at all.
Yeah.
I have hundreds of thousands of people out there pretending to be HTC.
Yep.
They say, oh, I'm trained by Dan, I'm this and that. I say, I don't know them. They've never been through the program. They're not even in the program.
We check the database. We
A
don't
lot. They just put a HTC logo on their Facebook and all that and say, this is what's ruining for a lot of our community, because people know the value of my name. And then what? It comes back to me and bite me in the ass. Because people, then I get a call from the influencer. Hey, Dan, I'm using one of your closers, and he said he's trained by you, but he's not that good. I said, really? Let me look into it. What's his name? I type, that's not my student. He said, what do you mean? He said he's trained by you. Yeah, he's got your logo. It's not my student. Can you see that's sometimes the power of the internet, that anyone can pretend to be anything, right? Anyone can say anything about anybody. There's no consequences. But that's the era that we live in right now. So use your common sense, right? Use your intelligence. And I believe you're smart enough. How many of us are smart enough to recognize, you know what? They a little bit fishy here. They're kind of pretending to be. We have people who pretend to be XTC and then try to connect with you, XTC, we XTC students, and try to role play. They say, well, because they don't have access to Discord. So they say, well, can I just role play with you? They want to extract information from you. They want to extract the knowledge from you. And they say, oh, yeah, I just want to role play. And then you're like, out of the goodness, the pearl, out of the goodness. And you're like, oh, yeah, that seems nice. I want to role play. You don't know. They're fucking pretenders. Fakers. Yeah, it's pretty much trust no one outside the family. That's my recommendation. If they say this, and that, you go on the Facebook, you can't search the name. Chances are, most of the time, it's fake. It is that crazy. Like Sifu wants you to know, this is not a small thing. We are a global community. You understand? You're part of a global movement. This is not a small little class. This is major. We are major. So give you a sense, especially for those you've never experienced anything like this. I'm teaching. You can see I'm teaching you a lesson. So don't be careful. Be careful. Right? There are people, the bad people out there. We have a whole list. That's right. Thank you. We have a whole list of people that watch lists. That we need to create a watch list. That people you need to be careful and stay away from. So, question is: can people count on you to protect the family? Can people count on you to protect the brand? Can people count on you to protect each other and protect yourself? So when you see some of these suspicious activities, most of the time ignore it. If there's something you want to report or support. Just be careful, because when we get so big, personally, even my team, we can't monitor everybody. And that's not what I want to do. We can't monitor everybody. I want to spend my time helping you grow and become a better version of yourself. I want to put a fence around our family. But if you see like, oh, there's someone trying to get in the fence, let us know. Let us know. Just be careful. We've seen it. Like I've seen it enough. And it hurts me, especially if they're my students. Someone that I trained, someone who I changed their lives. And it's happened so many times already that they stab my back. Like I have the most heartfelt email from that same person. And that's the person that stabbed my back. That's the person who spread rumors about me. That's the person who tried to take advantage of our community. Sometimes people are funny. And sometimes money does change people. It does. When that person's struggling and I help that person out, it's one thing, but once he starts making some money, gets into his head. But that doesn't, for most people, it might discourage some. And Sifu is human too. I can tell you there are moments. There are moments that I thought about, oh, fuck it. I don't want to teach anymore. Yeah, there are those moments where like, why the fuck? Why do I get so much hate? What have I done? Right? I'm better off. I'll just mind my own business. I don't have to teach. But then I look at my students, the good ones, you, the fans on social media, the good ones, the 95% that are good, their appreciation, their respect, their support. So I'm like, should we let the few bad apples bother me, even if it happens again and again, or should I focus on the bigger mission, the bigger cause? Then in some way, then I would be very selfish if I just care about my own personal feeling and not focusing on the mission. Does that make sense? So why would I not live my purpose because I feel bad about because of this and that? I'm like, no, you know what? Fuck those guys. I'll kill them with success. Right? Like why? Like I love what I do. Why do I let that bother me? But it's human. I see it's human too. Right? So it did bother me. But I thought about it. No. I'm just going to kill them with success. And you know, whatever they say, I'm going to deliver more value than ever. I'm going to help more people than ever. I'm just going to create so many success stories. That eventually there's nothing they can say. So you never act and talk and behave like a typical slimy salesperson, especially when you are talking to an entrepreneur, talking to a business owner. Okay. Remember this graph? Ooh, how many of you are watching this at night? Ouch. Wow. Right? Okay. Don't want to be like that. You do not want to be like this when you are closing. Okay. Don't be desperate. Because I do see sometimes where you're closing a certain way, but when you're talking to an influencer, when you're talking to an entrepreneur, suddenly, because that's the account that you'll be closing for, how many of you would get a little bit nervous? Because this is not just a sale, this is getting the account so you could get a lot of sales. So there's a lot on the line. Right? So always remember that you are the rainmaker. Who are you? You are the rainmaker. We make it rain. They need us more than we need them. So when you're talking to them, I want you to be a doctor. That's where the business acumen comes in. And you develop that over time. So we're the rainmaker. So I want you to imagine when you're talking to an entrepreneur, painting this picture in your mind. You go up to them and you are bringing them a suitcase of cash. Cash that they would not have made if it wasn't for you. So if your goal is to make $10,000 a month, you're gonna, let's say, help them generate $100,000 in additional revenue they would not have had. So you're bringing them so you work with them for a year. Imagine you showed up and you're bringing them a suitcase of money, $1.2 million a year, cash in a suitcase. When you work with them, and if you're good, that's what you're bringing to the table. 1.2 million bucks. In exchange, all you want is a little bit something in exchange when you produce the results. Little 10%, hypothetically. Let's say 10%. So you see how you're not begging? You're not saying, "Oh, please hire me." This is what see like so many amateurs. "Oh, please hire me." Like, no. Like, would if you're bringing a 1.2 million bucks to somebody, would you be begging them? Hello? Would you be like all needy and desperate? No, that's the frame. Now, not cocky. You're simply saying, you're stating a fact. This is what I got. This is what I can do. You want it? Good. You don't want it? That's fine. My time is a limited resource. I only close one or two people for one or two people. That's it. Probably one. If it's not you, it's somebody else. That is the positioning you need to have. You understand? So you'll see, I'll teach you in just about probably 30, 40 minutes or so. You interview them as much as they interview you. You interview them, write it down, as much as they interview you. And then you talk to them like, and here's the thing, not only you bring the cash, you're saying, if it doesn't work, it's not on you, it's on me. Not your fault. Only pay me when it works. Because we as a high-tech closers, we get paid based on results. I'm not asking you to take one tiny bit of risk, try me out. If it doesn't work, you are still at a loss. No, if I don't make you money, I don't fucking make money. Hello? It is my best interest to help you to generate as much money as possible because I get paid based on commissions. And I want my commissions. Don't you want your commissions? How many want to get paid? Yeah, we all want to get paid. So it's like, hey, I don't want to waste my time. If you're not serious, you're not ready, then you're not ready. Then you move on. Next. Crazy. So do you see the value that you have? And you got to keep sharpening that axe, the value that you have. Don't underestimate your own value. Write this down. I don't underestimate my own value. Write this in your notebook. I don't underestimate my own value. People around you don't believe your value. Your parents don't believe in your value. Your friends don't believe in your value. That's why they ask you to work for the minimum wage job. How many had your parents told you, just go get the minimum wage job? It's good enough for now. Something. Go make that 12, 13, 14, 15, whatever the fuck it is. They don't believe in your value. See who believes in your value. Don't underestimate your own value. Value yourself. Value your time. Value your skill. You don't value yourself, no one will value you. I want you to have a higher standard for yourself, that it is not okay to make the minimum wage. It's not okay to make that 10, 12, 13 bucks an hour. It's an insult. You're capable of more. You deserve more. It's not okay. It's not okay. And definitely not okay if you're my student. So you won't hear that from me at all. I'm not going to tell you, oh, it's okay. No, it's not fucking okay. What the fuck is wrong with you? Wake up. What is wrong? Something is wrong. Hone your skill. You deserve more. Boom.
$19,679 collected revenue in September for an influencer. I was trying to figure out what did I change in my closing calls. These are the three things that I realized. Consistency with follow-up. I'm talking real consistency. Patience, caring about prospects, which probably affected my tonality and energy that they feel.
Does this look very complicated to you? Does this seem like a very complicated formula to generate that $19,679? But Sifu, it can't be that simple. It cannot be that simple. This is why we are so fucked up. The education system taught us. How many of you recognize the education system, or I call that the miseducational system, make things way more complicated than it needs to be? Like some very simple thing. Why do they need to make it so complicated? Why a simple thing they need to take 3 months, 6 months to teach us something very, very simple? Why can't they just shorten all these materials and narrow that down and boil down to the essentials and give it to us? Well, because they can't sell the 4 years for that. If they do that, they can't sell for that much money. The university needs the complexity to sell for that kind of money. Because then, how are they going to get you into student loan and student debt? Because then you go, oh, this is pretty simple. I can get this in a month. Oh, fuck, how are they going to charge you the hundreds of thousands of dollars? Oh, it takes you 4 years. You want an MBA 6 years. Oh, 6 years. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, see, 6 years, 40,000 a year. That's 100, 120, 150, 160K for 4 years. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Oh, you can't afford it? No worry. You can pay us back. We'll finance, right? Then you spend the fucking 10 years paying this shit off. How many of you have graduated for some time now? You're still trying to pay off that fucking student loan. Put in the chat. How many years you've been trying to pay that shit off? Give Steve a year. You graduated.
6 years.
6 years.
36.
8 years.
8 years, yeah.
6 years.
20 years. Ouch.
20 years. 5 years. So you wasted 4, 5, 6 years in a university learning this shit. Then it takes you 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years to pay off that shit. By the way, before you paid it off, here's my question. During that time, are you getting a positive return, ROI, return on investment from that little piece of paper? So there you go.
Lots of nopes, a lot of no's.
There you go. Even the ones who are using it, let's say you're a doctor, you're an engineer, you're an accountant, you actually need that certificate. And I was to sit down with most of my students, they still say, not a very good investment, because even though they're using it in their profession in order to get that job, it still took them years. I mean, years to pay it off. Years. So it is in their best interest to make it complicated. It is not their best interest to make it simple. Can you imagine all the university or the college, whatever course you want to take, whatever you want to major, and they tell you, okay, you want to do this? Yeah, it only takes 3 months. All the courses, not 4 years, 3 months, they will all go bankrupt. There's not enough money in there. There's no business. The lifetime value of that student is too low if it's 3 months. So they make sure, let's give them a 4-year thing. Give them a lot to do. Give them lots of assignments in 4 years, which 99% they'll never use. But now we have a high ticket thing that we could sell. Don't be so impressed with the whole university thing, please. It is 100% for profit organization. It is a multi-billion dollar industry. Why do you think the campus is so beautiful? Why do you think all those grass is all mowed lawn so nicely? Why do you think they give you the gym? It's a business. It's a good business. Damn, it's a good business. Like, think about it. And they did such a good job of brainwashing the masses. It's unbelievable. It truly is. They did such a good job that people don't question the authenticity and even the rationality of university. Some people now, more people are kind of being aware, but for so many years, tiny percentage are more aware. Most people they're still in the fucking matrix. Because can I do a pitch? You want to hear Steve do a pitch? I'm going to do a pitch right now. Okay, so here's the university pitch. Okay, here's the pitch. It's awesome. I am university. Why don't you come to me and spend, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I'm going to teach you stuff that you won't use for the rest of your life, subject that you don't even like, but with no guarantee of a job at all or in any industry, and no guarantee of happiness or success. And if you don't have the money, you can get into debt. So then I am actually loaning you the money, kind of like a loan shark, but you would study all these courses that's really boring, very useless, no meaning, not practical, can't use this shit at all, but your family and friends will think highly of you when you get this fucking piece of paper in 4 years or 6 years. And this is perfectly normal. That's the way to go. That's how it should be. Now, let's talk about HTC. Take a 7-week course once a week, some assignments in between. By the end of 7 weeks, you'll have a skill. You could go out there and make money and get a return. If you're good, you can get that return even during the course or right after course within a few months. For only a few $1,000, $10,000. Oh, that's a scam. It is a total scam. It sounds too good to be true, you know. That's how society thinks. That's how society thinks. Shorter course, more practical, more result. I would fucking bet my fucking life on it. I would go toe to toe, head like eyes to eyes, compare the students who graduate from university, their success rate compared to my students who graduate from my landlord university. Let's compare the success rate. Mine is not 100%. It's not even 80%, but goddamn, I'm sure it's higher than university. I would take on that challenge any day of the week. So my DLU, I think, is pretty good. How many would agree? Landlord University, that's pretty good. That's the world that we live in, unfortunately. Social conditioning, social norm. But people are waking up. People are paying attention. They are getting smarter. Because after enough years of this, like, fuck, right? Didn't work for my parents, even though they said that's what I should do. But now looking at me, I'm like, maybe that wouldn't work for me. Definitely, I don't want to recommend it to my son or daughter. Right? It is crazy. It is crazy. But again, university, but you need to have your degree. I don't have a degree. Or you're not supposed to be a teacher if you don't have a degree, you know? You're not supposed to be an educator if you don't have an MBA, you know? I don't have a degree. I don't have a diploma. No MBA. No PhD. I'm just a teacher. Teacher of skill, teacher of life, that's it. No academic credentials. None. But I've used what I'm teaching quite successfully in my own life. That's it. That's it. I'm not comparing with other professors. I'm sure some of them are very, very smart. Some of them are have very valuable things to say. And I know some of them. Just, it's different. I teach what I want to learn, how I want to learn. Make it fun, make it interesting. Who says education has to be boring? Why does education have to be boring? Why can't we make it fun? Why can't we make it interesting? Right? If I don't make it interesting, how am I going to hold my students' attention for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours? How many of you can't even focus back in university day for like half an hour, dozing off, right? Like, why do we have to make it so boring for students? Why do we make it so boring for people? Why can't we have fun, joke around, and enjoy the process and practice what we learn? And yes, so from time to time, Sifu uses profanity, but who the fuck cares? Who says an educator can't use profanity? What has that to do with my content? What has that to do with anything? Does that mean I don't use profanity, that I'm a phenomenal teacher? Does that mean I use profanity, then I'm less of a teacher? No, right? So we're gonna do a role play with let's say have Desmond be doing what he does, because now this is the moment you want to pay very close attention. This is gonna be so good. Okay. So what if we could have Desmond do role play of what he does on a day-to-day basis, how he actually closes business account and influencer? Would that be valuable to you? These are insider secrets. These are not just closing a product. This is actually closing for a business account. Do you think there will be distinctions? Do you think it will be valuable for you? Seeing that business acumen in action. Now, again, warning, by listening to this, you would know, you would know, you recognize there's a gap. Okay, it's a pretty big gap actually. But it's okay. You could go back, we listen to it. I'm not asking you to try to mimic it word for word. I just want to show you what it sounds like. Now, Joe, I want you to be a prospect.
Awesome.
Let's give you a scenario. Let's say you are Desmond. Who do you want the prospect to be?
Joel, if you've got your HubSpot open, you can actually even take a look at Charlie Franklin. If you want to look at Charlie Franklin, that could be one example. But while you're pulling it up, I'll give a verbal as well. So
yeah.
Charlie Franklin is actually the marketing director working with a pretty well-known influencer. Okay. Influencer's name is, just for the sake of protecting his name, I would just call him Sam. Okay, so he's working for Sam. So Sam educates a lot of students, and especially people that want to go overseas, like foreign students that want to get into universities, and he's got different packages. So he's got a $2,000 package, a $1,997 package. He's got a $4,997 package, and they've got a $6,000 package or a $5,800 package. Charlie was trained by a pretty well-known internet marketer that teaches coaches and internet marketers, digital marketers, how to scale their business. And Charlie has actually paired up with Sam because Sam is more of the influencer who does the courses, kind of like Sifu, is more of the front facing, and Charlie's more of the technical, the back end, the strategy. So they've been able to generate quite a few leads, and they
How
stumbled
much
upon.
revenue they are doing?
They're doing actually about 1.2 million right now.
Okay.
They were averaging about 100,000 a month.
Actually,
And-
don't go into all the detail because I want you to use
Sure.
you get it out of them through the closing call anyway.
Sure.
So Joe, you'll play Charlie, right?
Yeah, I'll type some information for Joe.
I've
So
got
And
the-
it doesn't have to be all fully accurate because the numbers is a role play, right? It's okay.
I've
So
got
if you
everything
if
pulled
you
up.
want to create your own scenario, you could. Okay. So this is basically now this. So Charlie wants they're looking for closers. Okay. And then Desmond does what he'll usually do, what he always does. Okay. So here we go. Go for it. And okay, I'm gonna ask this season. Okay. Do you guys want to see a glimpse of the role play, or do you want to see the full role play? All right. All right. Okay. Full role play then. Here we go.
All right. So Des, I'm gonna call you as Charlie, okay?
yes. Yeah, you're
Okay,
gonna be
ring,
Charlie.
ring, ring.
You be Charlie. I'll be Desmond.
Yep. Ring, ring, ring.
Hello, Desmond speaking.
Hey, Desmond. Yes, we have this appointment scheduled for a consult to learn about how your closers can help our business.
That's correct, Charlie. Yeah, it's good. It's good to connect with you, Charlie. How you doing?
Doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, thank you. So, Charlie, I know that our team had connected with you. Apparently, you had stumbled upon our closers.com site. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. Very curious to know what you guys do, actually.
Okay, so we'll cover some of that as well. I also noticed that.
Pause for a second. Joe, can you speak just a little bit louder, closer to the mic?
Sure. Is it better?
Yes.
Even
Okay.
louder.
All right. Let me move my mic here. Better?
Good. Yeah, that's good.
Perfect. Okay, let's do it this way.
Yeah. So, Charlie, you also, from what I understand, I mean, you work with like your partner. His name is Sam.
That's correct.
Got it. Okay. And is Sam going to be joining us on the call today, or is it just yourself?
It's just myself for today. He just wants me to come check it out, see what you guys
Got
do.
it. So what do you know of what we've done so far? What do you know about closes.com? Tell me more about that part first, and then I'll help to fill in some of the answers for you. But just by the way, I just want to let you know that whether or not we work together, at the end, if we do, great. If we don't, I'm not emotionally attached as well, right? I'm gonna try to do my best to give you as much value as possible, and I'll even point you in the right direction if we can help you out that way. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds fair.
Okay. And Charlie, by the way, do you have to hard stop at the top of the hour?
Yes, I do actually have another appointment.
Okay, that's good to know. I also have to drop off exactly at the hour, so we'll keep it short. We'll get to the point, and if there's any other extra questions that we need to tackle, then we might have to book a second call. But hopefully, I can get you the information that you need, and we'll see if we can help out each other and see if we can work together. Okay.
Okay. Well, so about closes.com, yeah, I like your guys' tagline, right? Turn your unconverted leads into revenue. I clicked on the button that says hire closers because we are looking for sales reps who are capable and can get good results.
Okay.
So that's kind of what I know. I think you guys, I don't know whether you guys have sales reps or whether you guys help matches to people, but that's what we're looking for.
Understood. Okay. And how many do you have any internal sales people right now? Who's taking your calls right now?
Right now, it's actually just me and Sam.
Okay, got it. Right. So, and how's that going right now? How many calls are you guys getting? How many bookings are you getting per week?
Oh, I mean, we're not doing too bad. We get about between Sam and myself about 20 to 25 calls a week. We close on a good month. We could close maybe about 40 to 50% of those leads in a good month.
Not too bad, right? And so Sam obviously being the influencer, he's the guy that's in the videos that I saw on your website. Obviously he has a very high conversion ratio, right? So 50%. I'm sure we can try to get it higher, but 50% is pretty high, and it's normally for the influencers pretty normal, right?
Yeah, I mean, when people talk to Sam, they're pretty much they just want in, right? Because they feel that trust, right? And then Sam also, I mean, he's great at sales. And he's actually really good at explaining the value to people. So I think he's great, and I've got training myself as well. So it's fun. I enjoy sales, but we don't have the time to do sales all day, just me and him, like, because we can't grow the business, right? There's no way we can scale it in real time.
So let me get this down, because I'm writing this down right now. So you mentioned a couple of things about value, and you also mentioned about, even though Sam and yourself are good at closing, it's probably more important for you to get your time back. Is that correct?
Yeah, because what we found was, and Desmond, we've been doing this for about 6 months now, right? Just him and I straight just he and I doing sales, we realized that, you know, all our different programs, we can't really expand it and